Welcome to Three the Hardaway, aka the Three Man Jet Weave, aka the best big three since LeBron, D Wade, and Boss, live on YouTube on a Monday evening. If you are here, please leave a like on the stream, of course, comment to join the discussion and subscribe to the channel. Somebody just subbed like 5 seconds ago, so shout out to you. We are at 256, which means we're 44 subscribers away from that 300 done, like the Boston Celtics. There's Jaylen Brown, there's Jason Tatum, and the damn franchise themselves. But yeah, man, we a couple subscribers away from 300. We would greatly appreciate it as we are entering into, gentlemen, season 3 of the podcast. Word to the big three, man. I can't believe this is the third season we got coming up with this podcast. So lock in with us, man. We got momentum, man. We build momentum. Let's keep it rocking, man. If you don't know who I am the walking bucket providing instant offense. It's your boy Savage. Up here, we got the coach on the sidelines. Take them school on and off the court. And when I say it's really shitty, it's really shitty. Shitty, what's up with the popcorn, brother?
Well, I'm always going to tell you, get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
But what I also say is this popcorn came, not even a long story, quick story. We went to go see Inside Out 2 the other day.
Good movie.
Thank you. I was just going to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, no matter your age, please go see the movie. I think it describes a lot more of the mental health that people go through and deal with that we don't talk about enough, and put it more into a cartoonish type of vibe. I loved it. I got teary-eyed, not gonna lie, a few times in Inside Out 2. Go see it.
Do I need to see number one?
One is good. One is also good. You should see it.
Yeah,
it's on Disney Plus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Yeah. We also got your favorite DJ, Sample Man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir, too. What's good?
I'm on fumes, gentlemen, but we here. Y'all know that's when I'm at my best. I should be right here back in my bed. But, you know, when Master say, hey, get to work.
Hey, chill, man. Chill.
Good, What's good?
Master with 2 S's, too, boy. You know what's happening.
You had a 15-hour journey to, what was it, Idaho? Where'd you go?
Idaho. It's salmon or salmon, however you pronounce it, Idaho. You know, some people pronounce salmon and salmon. I still don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest with you, but that Idaho.
Okay.
It's one of first of all, English definition is so crazy. It's a word, the first word I ever seen with L is silent. One of the only words I know where L is silent. Mm-hmm. Like, where else is the L silent? Bullet. I said 2 L's.
I don't even know.
So why put the L in it? And you know, never mind. I'm already on fumes. I don't need to be thinking too much right now. Nah.
Nigga on the wrong fumes. He on the wrong fumes, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna be on the rappers in just a second. Let us get past this 5-minute mark on YouTube, so we'll get slapped.
Now we know.
And go. Oh, shit. These niggas with the shits, man. We were supposed to be on vacation for 2 weeks, but free agency kind of went crazier than what we thought it would happen. The NBA draft had a lot of buzz to it, and we got our ear to the streets, man. So the streets want us to come out here and talk about what's going on. The big three is here to definitely do that. But before we get into it, we do have some NBA trivia. What you got, to?
Absolutely. And as I pull it up or re-pull it up, we are actually going to do a giveaway. For those that don't know, we are actually celebrating 6 years of Let's Be Real. Yes, so we have 50%, again, 50% off y'all shirts. Shitty, he rocking one right now. So again, if y'all rocking with the pod, even with 3 the Hardaway, Let's Be Real, any of our pods, make sure y'all go get a shirt. They 50% off. But we're actually going to give a one away right now. So gentlemen, you guys have the task of naming the all-time assist leaders. Shout out to Chris Paul. He is definitely on this list. Again, the top 10 assist leaders of all time. And everyone in the comments, I just need you to name the top 3. The first to name the top 3 will be a winner of a shirt of your choosing. Again, everyone in the comments, name the top 3 assist leaders of all time. Gentlemen, the floor is yours. Top 10 assist leaders of all time.
Number one, John Stockton. We know that.
Of course. Pass on about it like Stockton. Chris Paul is on that. Yep.
LeBron James.
LeBron James is on there. I mean, you know how to throw a kitchen purpose in there, man. LeBron James is on there.
Okay.
Magic Johnson,
of course. Number
Mark
7.
Jackson.
Mark Jackson. Good call, Sheedy. I don't think many people want to know Mark Jackson, number 6.
I think Mark is top 10 on assists and steals, if I'm not mistaken. He up there, man. Mark, that's a hooper. Who did I say? Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd is number 2. Yep.
Okay. Nash.
Nash is 5. Keep it going.
Okay.
Well, how many we got so far?
Let me see. Y'all got 2 more to go. Yeah, good stuff.
Look at us. Okay.
3 more
James
to go.
Harden.
You said Nash, so there's 2 more to go. James Harden is not on this list.
Okay.
He's number 14.
Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell
is number
Westbrook.
9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So name 2 more. So we do have 2 more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Missing number 8, number 10. Think of a triple-double machine.
Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robertson is number
Okay.
8, number 10. You wouldn't expect him to be an assist leader because he scored a lot as a point guard. Played in the late 80s, early.
Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. Yep.
Isaiah Thomas is number 10.
Okay.
Again, so starting at 1, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, LeBron James, Steve Nash, Mark Jackson, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, and Isaiah Thomas. And salute to Chris Paul. He should give him like 20 more assists. Actually, not even that. Give him 5 more assists. He'll pass Jason Kidd for number 2 of all time.
Damn.
5 more assists.
And that's going to happen in one game.
Yeah. First quarter should be.
But I think the assist lead, like the all-time assist leader, I don't think nobody passing that, bro. I don't think nobody passing that.
Nah.
Stockton got a huge ass lead
because he ain't missed no games.
Never missed a game.
He missed no games in the Jazz when they were hot. They were going to the finals. Like that's a lot of games too.
And you know they coming out. They trying to discredit the '90s. They saying that some of Jordan's defensive stats wasn't really like steals and blocks. This could be the case for John Stockton saying, "Hey, some of these assists may just be like regular ass passes." But you know,
man, that pick and roll with Karl Malone. We don't mess with him, but hey, it was working people.
That was the greatest pick and roll of all time. Dang near. No, there's no way.
Yeah, there we have it.
Okay. Well, y'all heard the man too. You gotta get the top 3 all-time assist leaders in the comments, and then we have a free LBR shirt for you. Who are in the comments right now? He said Rondo on the list. I mean, Rondo's somewhere.
Rondo's top 15.
Top 15. Okay, I'm about to say Rondo, he up there somewhere. So shout out to Rondo,
top
man.
15, absolutely.
Dang, what do you have that one game in the playoffs? He had like 20-something assists
and 2 points. Man was not shooting the ball.
AD and Cousins.
Shout out to my dog Kyle Lowry for being on this list. So he top 21.
That's
Played
great.
long enough, man.
Shout out to
played long enough. All right, NBA free agency, man. So a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks since that we have not had a show. The world was rocked by that initial one, or well, I guess the trade of Mikal Bridges joining his Villanova brethren in New York. And we, as a podcast, were on the Barbershop Sports Rap Show. He told us, he said, in 40 years, I think 40 years, that the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks had not made a trade. And I'll be damned if less than a week later, these niggas made a trade. And they traded Mikal Bridges to the team that he wanted to get traded to.
Best player. I trade your best player.
Trade your best player. And I mean, I'll say this: the Nets got some things back that they need to get back, but the Nets are such a in-depth franchise that it kind of don't matter right now. So I do want to speak on behalf of the Knicks. And of course, this happened before the Sixers transactions, and the Knicks were loading up their roster, 1, for chemistry purposes, but 2, to go at the Boston Celtics, which I think they did a good job of creating a competitive roster. Of course, they still have Thibodeau as their coach. And I said it on Twitter, you have the unstoppable force and the immovable object in Tibbs playing players forever. And Mikal Bridges, to Took's point, for the past few years, Mikal Bridges don't miss games.
Iron Man.
Literally Iron Man. And so, of course, for me, as somebody that rocks with Villanova as a university, as a college program, I love this trade for the Knicks. I think that Mikal Bridges is a perfect number 2 option alongside Brunson. What does this mean for Julius Randle? Is he going to get traded at some point? We don't know, because we know that the lineup is going to be Josh Hart, it's going to be Mikal Bridges, it's going to be Jalen Brunson, and whoever else is around them. Of course, it won't be Hartenstein anymore because Hartenstein signed with the Thunder. But I like this move for the Knicks. I think that too stupid. I like this move for the Knicks.
You got to support our black homies out here, man. All the black
also, yeah,
black man gets paid what he's worth.
What do say on Key and Peele? Good afternoon, my octoroon. That's what he is.
There we go.
That man 1/8 of a black person. But anyway, how y'all feeling about the Knicks, man?
I like it. I like it a lot. And I don't think you necessarily have to trade Julius Randle. I know that's something that you want to do, Savage. That's something that you've been asking for. But when you got Mikal Bridges for essentially draft picks, you go with it. You don't just trade 25 and 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever he was averaging. Like, nah, let's see what we got before we try to determine what the moves are going to be. I love this for the Knicks. They're the second best team in the East, and they're going to keep it going.
One player you didn't mention too much of, Savage, was OG.
Okay, OG, get paid.
Fine. Yeah. And so overall, I love the transaction for Mikal Bridges because I told you all, and I said it on Twitter too. Before OG got signed, no one on the Knicks made over $30 million a season, which is crazy to believe. But that just lets you know the contract and how the GM and ownership was working. This move to me, though, hurt them in regards to this because they lost Isaiah and losing Isaiah. Just look up the movie in case you need to look at that reference. However, and she was fine back then too.
Man,
however,
don't start. Don't start.
Don't your wife listen to this?
She right here.
We went to go see Bad Boys 4. And she loved Will Smith. And then the new guy that's like his son. I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is a safe space, ladies and gentlemen.
I hear you about the Julius Randle thing, and I think that they're going to have to explore an option to trade Julius Randle. And just hear me out, just for backup purposes for their team. Mitchell Robinson is not a guaranteed. I'm always going to give you time, not only necessarily in the regular season, but in the playoffs. And then when he's not available, Precious is gone now as well. So they need someone behind Mitchell Robinson. That's all. However, overall, love it. Yet and still, I think they still need some reinforcements on the back end because injuries are going to be something that happens.
I like that point.
Not bad at it. They definitely. I think they just got good chemistry, man. It's good vibes, and hopefully Tibbs don't kill nobody, man. Because last year, I mean, we always predicted every year at some point the team gonna get hurt. And I think if you hurt Mikal Bridges, it's like, all right, man, you got to go. Because Mikal Bridges literally never gets hurt. That man never gets hurt. So that's going to be the final, nail in the coffin for Tom Thibodeau. So that was one of the transactions. The more recent one, let's get into Paul George, man. So first of all, the Golden State Warriors did this man wrong. The Clippers did this man wrong. He should have been a Warrior. So that what should have happened.
We'll talk about it in a minute.
But the Clippers, they actually signed James Harden to what's a 2-year deal, $70 million, if I'm not mistaken.
$35 million a year.
Yeah, talk about a winner.
$270.
No reason. He won that.
You go get James Harden, who we know for a fact gets the playoff yips. Prior to that, you bring in Kawhi and Paul George together. PG grew up a Clippers fan. He said he wanted to be in LA. You have a brand new stadium. I mentioned it a couple of months ago. I was like, you can't trade these players or get rid of these players, and you're advertising them with the new jerseys, the new arena, the new court, the new colors, new logo, all this stuff, and then you still let Paul George go and not sign him to a max contract. Now, of course, I understand Paul George is getting older. You don't want to have him on your team for too long. They actually want to associate his contract with Kawhi Leonard. It's a 3-year deal to match. Within that 3 years, they can get rid of him. After 2 years, they can trade him or whatever. Paul George wanted a 4-year deal, and I feel like he earned that, given that he was the one that played most of the games. Kawhi Leonard was half-assing it. Of course, when he plays, he's great, but Paul George was the guy that was consistently there, even when they were in the play-in. They said, we don't want you anymore. He goes to Philadelphia, signs with Philly to make a big three in Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And I think Philly could have definitely used Paul George this previous playoffs, given that Maxey was going ballistic in the playoffs. To have somebody with him when Embiid wasn't playing in some of those games would have been great. So I think as somebody that is an Eagles fan, and I see a lot of Sixers fans on my timeline, I think this is a really, really, really good move for Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. It's a win now move because they got to win within these next 3 years, honestly. And for the Clippers, I just what the hell are they doing is my question. What are the Clippers doing with their team? You signed James Harden. You don't know what you got in Kawhi Leonard. You're about to get rid of Russell Westbrook as well, too. So I'm just lost. I'm lost with the Clippers. I have no idea, but Philly is a great move in my opinion.
Commandment number 5: if somebody show you who they are, better believe them.
Believe
the
them.
Clippers always been a poverty franchise, and poverty is about where they're about to go. Even though they got Kawhi Leonard, cool. Is he gonna be around to play in the playoffs? Nah. Is the Clippers even a play-in team at this point? If you really want to think about it and talk about it, because I know they trying to get Russ. I know that for sure. I mean, they're trying to trade Russ, and I know the Nuggets actually want Russ bad. So I'm expecting to see that within the next couple of days. So you losing Russ. Who else you gonna bring in, bro? Like it's gonna be the James Harden and the Kawhi show.
Well, I'll tell you who they brought in. They brought in Kevin Porter Jr. and Josh Primo.
Disgusting.
Two, like one is a freaky ass nigga, and the other one is a beaten ass nigga. Like what are they doing? Paul George is a model citizen, and you let this man walk to bring in these dudes, bro. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Poverty franchise. Back to the bottom. Poverty franchise, back to the ghetto you go. But I love speaking of the Sixers, I do love this for the Sixers. Is it the best big three? I would love it to be the best big three. But you still got to go against the Celtics and everybody that they just paid and literally bring it back. So whether there's Tatum and Brown and Porzingis / Holiday / Derek White / Porzingis, that's the big three that they're going to have to go against in the playoffs or eventually in the Eastern Conference Finals, because I definitely can see the Celtics running it back. So as far as the big three, cool, but we need to see y'all in the playoffs. So hopefully, I don't care how many games Joel Embiid missed, you got your MVP, make it to the playoffs, bro. Just make it to the playoffs.
I think them not giving thought and an offer to Paul George is one of the biggest slaps in the face that I've seen in franchise during some years. Paul George was the reason they even made it to the Western Conference Finals. Even though they got dismissed during that time, they still made it with Paul George, not Kawhi Leonard, not James Harden. Paul George was the guy. And so to not make that offer and then to get back what you got, right? Like it wasn't even a sign and trade, right? It was who you get signed back and who you put forth the effort to go get these guys. You put forth effort for that, but then put forth the effort to get a player of Paul George to stay with you and stay in LA. I guarantee you Paul George would rather stay in LA if he would have got the contract that he should have received from them. There is no other leader for the Clippers besides Paul George. Take Paul George off that team, even this season, they're probably not even in the play-in scenario this season if Paul George is not on that team, because Kawhi was so up and down. They were figuring out how to deal with Harden. And then Russell Westbrook, who had a pretty great season, had these great seasons after he's left the Lakers. But I don't know if they would have been enough even as a playing team. So I hate it for the Clippers. Actually, I don't even care about the Clippers. The Clippers, I don't even care. Anyways, 76ers, kudos to you all. What a way to get rid of $40 million and use an upgrade with Paul George. Goodbye to Tobias Harris, who still is getting paid $25+ million by some bums. I won't even talk about that. But Paul George is an excellent fit for them. And even them getting Kelly Oubre back, I think that was a great play by them thus far. This is Andre Drummond's 5th time on the team, so we'll see how that goes. And still, to Tuke's point, I don't believe they're the best big three in the East until the Celtics lose. They are the best big three. I think there's some other teams too that have some talk even in the East about their big three before we can talk about possibly the 76ers big three. But Joel Embiid, when healthy, he dominates a lot of big threes, regardless if there's 3, 4, 5 men on him as well.
People are calling that Paul George trade the worst trade of all time. Y'all agree with that?
I was just about to say, because that trade from the Thunder, with the Thunder, and you give up SGA, who was a first-team All-NBA player, and so many first-round picks, for the Clippers to not cash in on that lottery ticket at all in any capacity, is just that's nasty wild, work. Man. That's nasty work, bro. Nothing to show for. Not even an NBA Finals appearance, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. To kind of close out this I guess this section. The Sixers also signed Drummond again, Eric Gordon, and they re-signed Kelly Oubre. The Clippers, they bring back Batum on a 2-year deal. They took Derrick Jones Jr. from the Mavericks, and like I said, Kevin Porter Jr. and they already had Josh Primo, but just nothing inspiring from the Clippers in that regard. Next up, let's talk about Klay Thompson, man. So the Warriors, they came out like a day or so ago and saying that they were not bringing back Klay Thompson, which we kind of all suspected that even as the season kind of wound down for the Warriors, it was time to move on. As Trevor says, who's in the comments, Dynasty's in ugly. Not necessarily ugly per se. I think it was just time. It just run its course. Nothing else too tragic about it. And Klay Thompson ended up in a sign and trade to the Mavericks for 2 second-round picks. So at least the Warriors get something for Klay Thompson. I guess you could have assumed you might have got a little bit more, depending on where, or I guess where he went. I think Thompson's side also said they turned down more money from other teams in order to go to Dallas to play with Luka and Kyrie Irving. I actually like this trade a lot for Dallas. Really for both teams. I mean, you get something for Klay Thompson on one end, but also for Dallas, you get a shooter. The only problem is what can Klay do on defense? And the Mavericks, I mean, they made the finals, obviously, with Luka and Kyrie. You're not asking a lot from Klay except to just knock down your shots, which are going to be open. And I think, Klay Thompson last year, I think really the past, since they won the NBA championship, was that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, however long it was. I think that he just needed a change of scenery. I mean, shooters going to shoot no matter how old they are. And so I think a change of scenery for Klay Thompson is going to help him a lot in Dallas. Will they be back in the finals? I don't know. But I think it's going to be better for Klay Thompson as he kind of ends his career the next about 2 to 3 years with Dallas. So I like to trade for Dallas, but I'm wondering what's next for Golden State. I hear rumblings about Lloyd for marketing, which I think Took would like that.
I love it.
And I don't know why they're not in Zach LaVine. On Zach LaVine, man. That's kind of interesting. Why not on Zach LaVine? But yeah, what do y'all think?
So they actually turned down the trade to send Chris Paul to Chicago for Zach LaVine. They actually the Warriors turned it down. So we could have had him. But as a half Warriors fan that I am, it's sad to see Klay go. The last 10 years have been great watching him and Steph form the best shooting backcourt shooting duo of all time. It's been great basketball to watch, just that chemistry and everything that they had going. But it was needed. For one, let me go ahead and get this out the way. For everybody that's saying we should have paid Klay, we did Klay wrong. We did not do Klay wrong. Klay Thompson was given a 4-year contract, and 2 of those years he did not play. We did not do him wrong. We offered him a 2-year, $50 million contract, give or take, at the beginning of the season. He declined it. So I think now he's getting, 25, 26 mil from the Mavericks. Again, he just did not want to return, and it's fine. He needed a change of scenery, and I think we just needed something new. If we're going to maximize, the rest of Steph Curry's career as a Golden State Warrior, I don't think that we could have paid Klay Thompson what he wanted and been able to do that. So, we are going to be looking for the Laurie for Markkinens. We are going to be looking at probably the Brandon Ingrams of the world as well. But at the same time, if you ask me completely, I wouldn't mind standing down for the rest of the summer, because I told y'all that next summer we got some heat coming as well. We got players like Jimmy Butler, who's going to be a free agent, that we probably should have had, Sheedy. Laurie for Markkanen will be an actual unrestricted free agent next summer too. So whatever team he go to, they better have the money to go ahead and get him. So, of course, we missed out on Paul George, we missed out on Klay. But still, the younger core that we seen develop last year, I'm more optimistic in them, especially not next season, but going into the season after, especially when we're able to add someone, than us trying to force something. Because this kind of brings me back. Before we won a championship, it took a year back. You know what I'm saying? Take a step back. Go ahead and got Wiseman. He didn't do too much, but we end up winning that championship as well the following year. So this is kind of the vibes I got. I told you I do see Steph Curry winning one more championship, and after that, I just may hang my bandwagon boots up. But until then, until Steph Curry is no longer a Warrior, I will be a half Warrior fan. I think this was the best that we could have done. Trading him for 2 round picks, that's just us doing him a favor. Of course, Klay is worth way more than that. But Klay we asked him where he wanted to go. Dallas was his choice. let's go ahead and get you there, bro. Thank you for everything you done for us. So again, we in no way can anyone convince me as a half Warrior fan that we did Klay Thompson wrong. No way in hell. He's a perfect fit for the Mavericks. What he's going to do on defense. Who plays defense in the Western Conference anyway? So it's a perfect match in heaven for me, for the Mavericks, for Klay Thompson. So Klay, salute to you. And I do have you as a top 10 shooting guard of all time, and I cannot wait to have that debate a little later on this episode.
We can have it right now.
Are we having it right now?
We can have it right now.
Hold
on,
we can open up the floodgates. Yeah, I think it's a great segue. However, I do want to say that, first of all, and I can't remember who tweeted this, but it was a very good point. Whenever the Dallas goes to Golden State, the tribute video that Klay Thompson is going to receive is going to be spectacular. I also believe that he is not in the conversation. He needs to get his jersey retired when it's time in Golden State. With that all being said, I also believe another part of this talk as well too is not even just the money, but also his role on that team. And I don't believe Steve Kerr was going to continue to use him as he's used him in their championship runs. I think they were looking at going younger and having Klay come off the bench, whereas opposed to Klay is a starter, has been a starter for the Warriors for years. And that maybe not just the role that he wants with Golden State. And I think he has more to prove with Dallas or even Orlando or any other team that he tried to go to as well. My thought about all this as well with the trade is I agree. I don't believe Golden State did Klay wrong at all. What this does, again, opens up the door for Golden State and the money that they can have without paying him $30+ million a season to get a player. There's going to be someone that wants to sign to play with Steph Curry. Like Steph Curry has that type of aura around him. Mm-hmm. And as that aura in Golden State that, hey, listen, even if I only get a year or two of Steph Curry, I'll take this year or two of Steph Curry over making multi-million-dollar contract here in the next, 2 years or something like that. So I've been on the train about Lauri coming to you all. As much as I wanted him in a Miami uniform, I think he would suit well with Golden State, and I think he can end his days there as well. So I think it's a great move by Golden State and a great move for Dallas as well. And I'm glad that Golden State listened to what he wanted and his wishes and sent him where he was best to go to. This was a sign and trade, not where he just picked up and signed, which Los Angeles Lakers. And before we get to Klay Thompson, let me just talk to the Lakers real quick, just for a second. Y'all didn't have enough to get Klay Thompson?
I want to talk about that. Before
we talk about Klay Thompson, before we talk about that, right? You have enough money for that. You didn't put together a package that was better than what the Pelicans sent for DeJounte Murray? You can put together nothing better than that? You didn't give up. You didn't want to offer Chris Paul some money to play with LeBron for his his final season. I'm just asking the question everybody need to know. Lakers, if nothing happened this season, great draft. But
great draft.
No, you missed the quote.
Great draft.
I mean, they did get Dr. Connect, which is like, okay, cool. But I'll leave it alone.
Nothing's moving the needle. We've seen a healthy AD and a healthy LeBron and no finals again. So, and then again, if LeBron was willing to take the pay cut and this is the best that you have to offer him, y'all better go and trade for somebody before it all is done. And if not, y'all are definitely back in the playing scenario with teams only getting better, and the Lakers are not getting better. They have done nothing for me to move the needle anymore. So, Savage, I understand you're still on assignment for the Lakers and gone from them on sabbatical. Sabbatical is usually 2 months. You're on like a 2 decades away from them, and that's fine. But the Lakers, that is embarrassing that you all could not get someone to come and team up with LeBron and AD, no matter what the circumstances were. And you struck out multiple times. And again, what did they offer him for DeJounte Murray? What was the offer for that?
Probably a couple first rounders and Rui Hachimura.
Let me look it up.
And Austin Reeves. They wouldn't want to give up Austin Reeves.
They didn't want to give up Austin Reeves, and that's why.
That's crazy. Not giving up Austin Reeves. Okay, here was the package. They got Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, which is Dyson Daniels, okay. 2 first-round picks, one of which was originally the Lakers, which is funny, and the 2027 first-round pick. So basically, 2 first-round picks, 2 role players to get DeJounte Murray. But hey,
and Lakers can give up. Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing, though, Sheedy, and I'm happy you brought that up because from what I understand and from what I know is that Klay Thompson didn't want to go to the Lakers.
Who could blame him?
But why? And that brings us to my question, Savage. You being a former Lakers fan, why is that the case? That Klay Thompson, who dad does the talking, the broadcasting for the Lakers,
Mike Thompson,
who, you should want to play with LeBron James, right? I guess I'll put the quotations in with Sheedy. You should want to play with Bron and AD, right? Like, why doesn't not even Klay? Why don't pretty much anybody want to come?
Nobody. Hey man, in the words of the face of the NBA, quote unquote, Anthony Edwards. And they got DeJounte Murray, but we got Bronny James Jr. We we all right over here in La La Land, which is exactly what it is. It's La La Land. These like Rob Pelinka, Lakers fans hate Rob Pelinka, but I'm like, why? Because Rob Pelinka is the same man that was responsible for 1, Anthony Davis coming in to the Lakers, and 2, for all those moves the previous year when they brought in like Hachimura and who was that? Vanderbilt and D'Lo, the trade with the with the Jazz, I believe, that they made some trades to get players that helped them do well in the playoffs. And I feel like they keep blaming Rob Pelinka when in reality you need to blame not even just LeBron James, but also Jeannie Buss. Like the Buss family is a struggle bus, literally a struggle bus. That's what's going on with the Lakers right now. And for me personally, I just think I give all the blame to LeBron, but I get looked at crazy every time I see a report come out that says LeBron is on the phone with Klay Thompson, or LeBron wants to draft Bronny James, or LeBron wants to bring in AD. But I'm supposed to believe that LeBron don't run that shit in LA. Oh, okay. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Sheedy. You have something to say?
No, when you said the Jazz, it just brought me to another point. The Lakers are stuck with not wanting to trade players because someone says that they want to keep them on the team. Like THC was in a trade packages as well for better talent. And it never came about. And then y'all got he left.
He left.
And what they get back? Not a damn thing.
Shit.
Not a damn. Wow.
But yeah, that's we'll get into the Bronny James situation and we'll define, as Took wants to know, define what nepotism is for the purposes of the Lakers.
I honestly still don't know what it means.
But before we get into that, I do want to discuss what you talked about too. Is Klay Thompson a top 10 shooting guard of all time? My question to you, Took, is who is your top 10? Because I looked at a top 10 list that came up in Google. But like off top of your head, or unless you got like a list that's listed right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 7 for sure.
Okay. No. Before you even go, we only need to really get to 6 names because when you're talking top 10 shooting guards, 4 of them should already be covered.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. 4 of them should already be covered. And we're gonna say this so everybody know: MJ.
Yep.
Kobe.
Yep.
Wade. Iverson.
Easy.
I would put Harden up at 5 somewhere. I think.
Don't worry about it. We ain't there yet. But
yeah.
Okay.
You can put Harden there.
Harden ain't above Klay Thompson.
So I got.
I'm talking. This
is what we're gonna talk. This is why I said I got shits. I'm on a few hours of sleep. Y'all finna get this. So again, we got the 4 right here. We got Ray Allen 5. I don't think anybody debates. Okay, good. 5.
Ray up there. Yeah.
I got Clyde Drexler. I got the rest of them is no particular order. Top 35 in points and assists of all time. Top 10 steals. Clyde Drexler there. George Gervin. We want to give a little respect to the Iceman. The Iceman finger roll. Actually led the league in scoring 4 times. Cool. Yes, sir. We give him that. So that's what, 6. So this is where it get interesting. I do have Klay Thompson in the top 10, so that's 7 for me. We got Reggie Miller.
Okay.
We got, like you said, James Harden.
Okay.
We got Vince Carter.
Okay.
We got my all-time favorite player, or growing up, Tracy McGrady.
Okay.
That's 10 or 11. Okay. Who am I missing? Who are we adding? And if we finna start with the shenanigans right now, I got Klay Thompson. I got Reggie Miller. I got, unfortunately, I don't even want to put James Harden top 10, to be honest with you.
He top 10, bro. I'm sorry, he top 10.
You got to. He was top 15 in assists.
He talked to him, bro. He got top 10, bro.
Come on.
Prime James Harden in Houston, bro. Hey, man.
You can't knock the hustle, brother.
All right, so then that would leave either Vince or McGrady to finish out the rest of the 10.
Man, hold on, man. Okay, so let's
talk about the Klay Thompson thing, because if you want to talk, everybody think about Klay Thompson. I ain't even gonna bring up the 4 championships, even though I just did. But let's talk about what he did on the court. 12 3-pointers in 3 games or more. 37 points in a quarter, y'all. 60 points in 3 quarters. Like, come on, bro. If we talking about an actual shooting guard, name me a better shooting actual guard that shot better than Klay Thompson.
Hey, for me, I got Klay top 75 for sure. Like, he should be on that top 75 list.
Okay.
I'm with you in that regard. I think when I look at the top 10 shooting guards, of course, we talked about Jordan, Kobe, Wade, and Iverson. I can name 10 right now. So that's what 4. You got Harden, that's 5. Not in any order. Harden, that's 5. Iceman, that's 6. Drexler, that's 7. Reggie, that's 8. Ray Allen, that's 9. I think Vince Carter is better than Klay Thompson. Vince Carter, I'm not now accolades wise, I can see it because I mean, Klay 4 rings, flamethrower for an arm. I got you on that. Like Vince Carter and T-Mac, bro, he's better than Vince Carter and T-Mac. I'm like, man, look. I went even.
But here's my thing. So I didn't even have Harden. I would rather, just me personally, I got Klay over Harden, bro. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I've literally watched James Harden from his entire career from now. I get MVP he won the MVP. I get it. But he was essentially, with outside of rebounds, he putting up Trae Young numbers. And if we want to be fair about the numbers, you don't disrespect Trae Young because you call him a pass first ball hog, which is exactly what James Harden was. Number 1. Number 2, Sheedy, you've already mentioned on this podcast already how James Harden don't perform in the playoffs. We've said this on this podcast multiple times, and I've lost count of how many times I've said it. I'm not putting nobody in the top 10 that is like, I gotta wonder if you're gonna show up in the playoffs or not. Unfortunately, and people can we're gonna be real about it. Let's be real about it. Some people can say the same thing about my dog T-Mac on how he never made it out the first round. Vince Carter ain't had too much playoff success, if you want to be real about it. So Klay Thompson, 4 rings, actually the best shooter, probably the best shooting guard of all time. I can't not put him in the top 10. Sheedy, you over here? What's up, bro?
Accolades. I love you brought that up. 4 rings, right? Do we say that Robert Horry is a better player than Charles Barkley or Karl Malone because of their rings?
But then again, that's why I didn't bring up the rings, even though I did bring them up.
Okay, cool. So we won't bring up the rings. Cool. I'll exit out the conversation.
Let's keep it objective. Cool.
Okay, cool. So back to the T-Mac. Let's just talk about T-Mac, Vince Carter, and Klay Thompson. If you were to say start, mention, cut those players, I won't even do that. Let's just go talk about their actual teams. Vince Carter led his team. T-Mac led his team. Klay Thompson was second fiddle to a unanimous MVP and was always second to Steph Curry. And so when I look at the teams that were constructed with T-Mac, even when going to the Magic, he was still going to be the first fiddle over Grant Hill. He was still the first fiddle in Houston over Yao. Vince Carter, he was a shot away from being in the East Conference Finals. I mean, from winning the East Conference Finals for being against the Lakers. He still would have got his ass whooped anyway. But yet, all the players that we've named before Klay Thompson have all led their teams on their own in some way, shape, or form. Klay Thompson has not had the opportunity, I'll say that for you, the opportunity to lead a team by himself. He's always had, if I always got a shooter with me, you got to double him. Or you got to double him and KD. Come on, because that's forget. Come on, Coach. KD was there too. So there's been times when Klay Thompson has not always been the first or even the second option on his team. Does that discredit him? Again, I believe he's a top 75 talent, hands down. Yet and still, when I say top 10 shooting guards, that is the debate is there in which is he the leader of that team? And I can honestly say no. and he doesn't have the opportunity with Dallas. And I don't think he'll ever have the opportunity because he's definitely out of his prime now. And what else got me too? Nothing against Klay Thompson, but he's this all-around defender. But he's only got like one all-defensive third team, I believe, which I think is a disrespect to his name. That's me personally. I think there should be maybe 2 or 3 more, maybe. But I think a lot of that also happened when he was in the playoffs, and they always know they never get you because of how great you are in the playoffs. It's more of a regular season award. But again, I rest my case in regards to because he did not lead his team like the other 10 have. I'm not even putting Ray Allen in that top 10. I would take Ray Allen out, even though I think he did lead the Sonics at points and the Bucks, and he was the first. But again, Klay Thompson has had the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to say no for top 10.
Interesting. Savage, what you got, bro?
I'm like, he's
because I mean, it's a good point.
He's a fringe top 10. I think it depends on your like what you want from that player in terms of like a shooting guard. Like Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, I mean, we all saw them growing up. We know what it is with them guys. Now, T-Mac, I've always got on T-Mac because he never got out of the first round as a primary guy. Vince Carter had a great career. It kind of got elevated with the Nets for a second there. But then you got Klay, of course, who has 4 rings. I looked at one list online. They had like Ginobili right below Klay Thompson, which I think that's a very good comparison in terms of like they're never a true number 1 option, but they are a very good second option. And of course, in Ginobili's case, he's a bench player, but he was so elite in that role. And that there were times in the playoffs where he was giving folks their work as far as like being the primary option, which is what Klay Thompson did as well too. You know what I'm saying? So I like him at like the 11 to like 12, 13 range, but I can see the case being made for him. But because he's never been like the guy that you count on the most, you had Steph, you had KD there. That's why I can't have Klay Thompson as a top 10 shooting guard. But he's for sure top 75 all time. I was mad that he didn't make that. Him and Kyrie, I was mad that he didn't make that.
I can appreciate y'all saying that. Of course, he played with Steph Curry, who's the greatest shooter of all time. Cool. But my thing is, you can also look at the other side and say, what if he actually played with a passing point guard as well? Because if he was able to do what he's done with the Steph Curry and, of course, with the KD, he call it second fiddle, third fiddle, cool. But if he was a first option, we could expect probably – give or take, add 3 more points average wise, add 3 more points to his whole average, and he'd still be looking good. Like whether or not he'd be able to carry a team, probably not. And who knows? But I think we can't. I'm not gonna put Klay Thompson's circumstance of playing with the greatest shooter of all time because of what he's still been able to do when he still played. Again, he holds the records for the most 3-pointers of all time. He holds all kind of 3-point records that you could think of. If he did get injured, ain't no telling what he probably, in my opinion, just me, I think he beat Steph Curry as far as like the most threes of all time. I think he could have been or at least right behind him if it weren't for that 2 year. So I got to give him top 10 just strictly based on shooting. You know what I'm saying? If we want to put, of course, Reggie Miller was by himself. I think that he probably could have had a Reggie Miller-like career. If we want to be completely honest, he averaged more points than Reggie Miller as a career.
I think Reggie was a better shot creator, though.
I mean, but still, Klay's not too bad creating up for himself. He just never really got that role because of Steph Curry, because of Steve Kerr, because of the system he's played in. So, of course, he's have to adjust to that. But I mean, don't get it wrong. Like, it's fair that for what y'all said too, because then again, y'all got me thinking about like everybody in the bottom 5 pretty much have had to been the number 1 option. But then again, like let's say if Klay would have played with a Chris Paul his entire career, I think the numbers would be looking a little different. I think he would have had to done more, which meaning we probably be looking at him in a different eye right now.
Yeah, in that different eye would have been also as the sun is in my eye, Jesus.
Absolutely.
Also, too, right, to that point, though, too, I think, yes, he would have had more points. I believe that. But you also would have seen a different defense on him, too. Because now, if Steph Curry isn't on that team and you have a Chris Paul, I'm not putting my best defender on Chris Paul. I'm putting my best defender on the best shooter, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure I clog up the passing lanes for that point guard. that wants to get to Klay Thompson.
Come on, Coach Edey.
So, I listen, ladies and gentlemen. I really want to make it to college. I'll make it there. I promise you. One day, Klay Thompson is going to be revealed better than what he has been. And it's very unfortunate that he has not been. And to your point, it's not his fault that he got chosen by the Warriors and been in the system. You're right, it's not. And he's shown flashes by himself. Yes, if Steph wasn't there or Steph had an off night, but even I go to the playing scenario just this past season. Like, damn, that nigga was 0 for 10.
Yeah, he was bricking.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
That's
a bad look.
That's a bad one right there. But he's still getting paid, and he still have another opportunity to not only just come out the West, but also compete for the finals as well. So kudos to him.
And I think he'll be refreshed in Dallas, man. I think he'll be refreshed. You can basically have you get somebody got to guard Kyrie, got to guard Luka. They're gonna be double teamed depending on circumstances. You are wide open at the hash and in the corner. Just make your threes, bro. That's all you got to do. Make your threes, play good team defense, and you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, man. All right. So yeah, we had a good discussion. Good wholesome discussion.
Everybody in the comments, let us know, man. Let us know. Let me know if I'm tripping or not. Of course, TikTok gonna let us know. I know you're gonna TikTok this shit.
Yeah. You already know. You already know. All right, let me run down the rest of the league real quick. I'm starting from the top. Let's see. Atlanta ain't do nothing. Boston, of course, they signed Tatum to a 5-year max $300 deal. Derek White also signed a 4-year extension, which is well deserved. Obviously, he had a max contract for a player of his salary capability, so it's not like a crazy max, but it's pretty damn high. Let's see. The Bulls traded Caruso for Josh Giddey straight up, which is crazy to me. But hey, more power to you, Chicago. If you don't want to win, then that's on you. Let's see. Cleveland didn't do anything yet. Dallas, of course, got Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, and Quentin Grimes from the Pistons. Denver hasn't done anything yet. Detroit signed your boy, too, Kay Cunningham, 5 years, rookie max extension. Detroit also brought in, who did they bring in? Was it Bickerstaff? Not Bickerstaff. Yeah, JB, okay.
Back-to-back blacks, brother. Back-to-back blacks.
Actually, back-to-back blacks. If you go back to Casey. So Detroit.
Who was before Casey? Hold on.
It's Casey, it was Monty Williams, and now it's JB. So it's 3 blacks.
I don't know who was it. Stan Van Gundy before?
Let me see. Detroit Pistons coaching history. Because if they get a 4th black, they might have to go white, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. At this rate. All right, let's see. List of Detroit Pistons head coach. We are. Yep, Van Gundy was coach. So yeah. So back to back 3-peating of the black coaches. Is this it for JB? Is he gonna turn it around for Detroit, or is this like this ain't it?
Yeah, what else you going? I mean, he can't have another 28 game losing streak. I mean, shit. They gotta do better than that. And they brought in Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias finally got traded.
Tobias Harris back in Detroit. So somebody said they got signed players, so they signing players, but hopefully they ain't trying to win because they can get Cooper Flagg next year in the draft with Kay Cunningham, which would be great in my opinion. But yeah, Detroit. JB's a good coach, but I don't think he's that guy to take y'all over the top, man.
Tobias Harris gonna find a way to fuck this up.
He is. And it's crazy because like JB, I don't think he was given I don't want to say a fair chance, but a fair chance in Cleveland. Like, because they won bad. They just the chemistry and the team makeup, which he had no control over, just wasn't it for him. But I do. What's his contract for Detroit? Do we know?
JB?
Yeah.
Let me see. JB
because I'm hoping like they give him a longer chance in a year, and I'm expecting
4-year deal.
4-year deal. I think he'll be there for at least 2 of them. And of course, Travis said in the comments, nowhere to go but up. So I mean, that's
literally. And they keep losing and then getting the 5th pick in the draft. Like they never get the number 1 pick aside from Kay Cunningham, obviously. But you've been losing so much and nothing to show for it, man. Like win some games.
If you give them a number 2 pick, they're gonna go and get Darko Milicic.
Yeah.
So
when you pass on next up, Golden State. They signed Melt to a 1-year deal. I love it. I mean, it's a solid deal. He's a good role player. And then they cut CP3. CP3 is with the Spurs now.
Probably
I
my
like
favorite
that.
move,
We said it. We said it for years on this podcast. The Spurs need a point guard, and you got Chris Paul. I mean, they drafted Stephon Castle from
I can't wait to talk about him.
They drafted Stephon Castle, who, according to his agent or reports from his agent, that he didn't want to go anywhere where he couldn't be the starting point guard. So that's going to be interesting how the Spurs use Chris Paul and Stephon Castle. But we'll get into Stephon Castle when we get to the draft segment. Rockets ain't did nothing yet. Pacers, they re-signed Pascal and Obi Toppin. Lakers signed Max Christie. Forgot about that. Max Christie to a 4-year deal. Shout out to y'all for that. Max Christie and Bronny. That's good. Grizzlies have not made a move just yet. Of course, they did draft Zach Edey, which we'll get into that in the draft segment. Shitty, your Heat re-signed Kevin Love to a 2-year deal. That man got gray hair. I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm okay with it. Like, I mean, was it 2 year, $8 million or $10 million? So we'll pay him a little more than $5 million a season.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it.
Yeah,
it ain't. We're not moving the needle. We're not going backwards or forwards with that. We just need somebody.
That's the next Udonis Haslam for y'all. Just give him a polo.
He's gonna get
a give him a polo at some point. Bucks signed DeLon Wright. Timberwolves re-signed Luke Garza. The Pelicans, of course, got DeJounte Murray. I'm cool with this trade. It's cool. I still don't think the Pelicans are that good yet. They just acquire talent but don't know how to mesh it together. I've said it for years that DeJounte Murray and Trae Young are not a good fit. You got 2 point guards who need the ball. That's not conducive to winning basketball. Again, redundancy at the position. And so they end up trading off of DeJounte Murray. They might still trade Trae Young because they might be trying to tank to get some more picks. But as of right now, they still got Trae and they got Zachary Ricochet, whatever his name is, which we'll get into a little bit later in the draft segment. Quick thoughts on DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans, y'all.
Yay.
Okay. No. I'm the same way.
I'm a big Murray fan, Jonte Murray fan for sure. So I love that the Pelicans were able to get an actual point guard and let CJ do what he do with scoring. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it don't move nope. It don't move the thread at all. So
nope. I know.
If I can ask Atlanta, that was the best package that y'all could receive for DeJounte Murray.
Yeah,
that was the best one. There's no way.
No way at all. We talked about the Knicks already. The Thunder, of course, got Hartenstein from the Knicks 3-year deal. Isaiah Joe comes back, and Aaron Wiggins comes back. So they doing some improvement. Orlando, they re-signed, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but GB, who they already had, and they brought in KCP from the Nuggets, which I like as a role player with the Orlando Magic from Denver. So I'm cool with that. Talk about the Sixers. Suns ain't did nothing yet. They brought back Bobo and brought in Mason Plumlee, who's still in the league, making that money. Shout out to Duke University. Portland, they traded for Denny Advia. I like that deal for Portland to get a good player. I'm not sure what the Washington Wizards are doing, getting rid of your actual good players. They did get Malcolm Brogdon back. They brought back Rashawn Holmes, and they signed JV. But the Wizards are not trying to win, ladies and gentlemen. They just getting people to come in to bring in a good culture. They're not trying to win. And what else? Sacramento ain't really do nothing. They brought back Malik Monk, nothing crazy. Chris Paul with the Spurs. Toronto, shout out to Sheedy's guy, Scotty Barnes, 5-year rookie max deal. Nothing else there. Utah Jazz, nothing. And that's pretty much it with free agency, man. So nothing has happened since he's been on the show. Shout out to Zay. He pulling up in here. What up, Zay? Nothing else is happening in free agency. We covered everything so far to this point. So hopefully nothing else crazy happens on the show, but y'all know how it is through the Hardaway. Some shit might pop off at the end of the damn show, and we got to talk about it. So y'all ready to get into the draft, man?
Definitely.
Get into the NBA draft, man. So the draft was last week. By and large, it was a quote-unquote role player draft. Not too many, superstar names. Starting at the top, literally, I still to this day have not watched a Zachary Ricochet highlight at all. Took says he likes him as a player. So Took, who is this guy to you? What does he do well? A player comp, whatever. Just explain that to me in the viewing audience, because I have no idea what I'm getting into.
I think he should be a Lauri Markkanen type player at the end of the day. We love and respect Lauri for marketing on this podcast. He could essentially one day average 20 points a game, about 5 rebounds, a couple assists. But I just like his smoothness. he knows how to put the ball in the hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Can he shoot?
Literally,
can he shoot?
He can literally think of a Laurie Marketing.
Okay.
Literally, and for people that in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong, but I've seen him. That's who he reminded me of. Just a smooth forward. So is he 6'10"? I think he'll match well with Trae Young if you want me to be completely honest with you. But it's just gonna be the matter of, is Trae actually gonna be there next season? It's how often will he get the ball? Is Trae Young gonna stop his development? I like the pick. I honestly think he's a good player. Was it worth number one? But as far as just being with the Hawks, I think it's a great fit. Adam top 3 for sure, but number one, I didn't expect number one.
Okay. If you were the Hawks, would you with Trae Young, would you have picked him or Sar?
Because Sar told me not to draft you, I had to go with the next best option.
Man, Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't want to get drafted by the Grizzlies, and they drafted him. That worked out well.
I mean, it did, but some organizations.
So, wait, time out. So Sar did not want to go to Atlanta, but wanted to go to the Wizards,
which don't make no sense at all. Both poverty franchises, if you want to be completely honest, but I don't know what to do with my hand.
What? Nah, don't draft me Atlanta. Now you go to a strip club or something in Atlanta, so get some wings or music. You want to go to Washington.
You want to go to Washington?
Well, they struggling to figure out who is leading the damn country. That's where you wanted to go.
Don't get me started on that, bro.
Okay. All right.
Bro, we're supposed to vote in a few months.
I'm gonna get my early vote out the way. I don't even want to be around nobody.
Oh shit!
I'm finna move, bro. I'm moving to fucking.
Yeah, me too.
Where we going, bro? Where we going? Let me know.
When I move, either Africa or just like that. Either Africa or France, since all the Frenchmen want to come over here.
Anywhere they got black jobs, I'm with it.
And what we oh shit, black jobs.
As long as you got a black job, I'm with it.
Now I see your job, ladies and gentlemen. Black job.
I need a black job. I need a black job.
Oh man.
That was a good
one. That was good. No, that ass. That's important.
Yeah, man. Anyway, to less depressing things. Who was like some of y'all's favorite picks in the draft, man? I actually want to get right into Zach Edey, bro.
Yeah,
I want to get right into Zach Edey. So, you said you like it a lot. What you thinking about Zach Edey?
I don't like it. I love it. And just to go ahead and get back in Grizz Nation's good gracious, trust me, guys, I do have the Grizzlies going to the playoffs. I don't need no smoke over the summer. And I'm willing to take a shout out to Coach Vaughn in the comments. He said that he's very confident with his pick. I'm going to take it a step further. I love the entire Grizz draft. And what I see by that is, one, since they got their asses whooped against the Lakers a couple years ago, which was, hey, if y'all don't get any big man rebounding, y'all going to get your asses whooped. So y'all not only brought in a great rebounder, but y'all got it. He's 7'4", and quicker than Rudy Gobert. So if Rudy Gobert can win 18, 20 Defensive Player of the Years, this Zach Edey dude who won Player of the Year twice. I think he may be pretty good. And if you look at Steven Adams' stats, he averaged like 8 and 10, 8 and 11 while he was here. I think Zach Edey can do that as well. So I love the pick for that. But Savage, when you talk about the Tigers and wanting to bring in Tiger players, who do you want? Who do you ask for every single year?
Tiger players?
Yeah, like I'm sorry, when you talk about the Memphis Tigers, what kind of players do you want Penny to recruit?
I want tall players, bro.
You want tall players that can shoot that thing.
They can shoot
it.
Yeah. Jalen Wells and Cam Spencer, even though Cam Spencer is 6'3", kind of like an Austin Reeves kind of player, those two guys can shoot the hell out the ball.
He's 6'8", I think.
Jalen Wells is 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, like that's late. We got too many small guys, man. Get some shooters.
Get some going. 42% from three. I'm good with that. You bring it in some more shooters, and then, like I said, you bring in a dog with Cam Spencer from UConn, 6'3". Like, and what he said, or what I just saw, Spencer is the best pull-up shooter in the class. So you got two shooters, and you just got your big man for the next 5 to 10 years. Oh yeah, we rocking. Best draft. I ain't gonna say in Grizz history for sure, but I love what the Grizz were able to do this draft. If you tell me who's the winner of this draft, I'm going with the Grizzlies.
I just bring the mic close to my face. I'm gonna make sure Grizz Twitter. I will clip this clip and I'm going to repost it. Now, last year when I posted Took's comments about the Grizzlies and like Ja coming back late and the injuries and coaching, y'all was deep on the 3 to Hardaway Twitter page. Now, when I make this clip about all positivity from Mr. Ted Shakir, keep that same damn energy. That's all that I ask. Keep that same energy. This is the first clip I'm making, matter of fact. This will be my first clip that I'm making, and I'm putting it out there in the ether. Positivity. If y'all don't respond accordingly, respectfully, F all y'all is what I'm going to say. Anyway.
I love that ISO. I love it. It was neat. And I appreciate you having my back, brother.
I got your back, bro. We butt heads often.
Yes.
Except on the court on 2K. But we butt heads often. But I got your back. You my brother. My man, 50 grand. I got you. I got you.
My man.
I just want to add to the Zach Edey thing.
Go ahead.
This is back to me coaching, right? So I apologize as I'm going to talk about this in this realm. But the problem that people had about Zach Edey, I'm so glad you brought this up, too, was he doesn't move his feet enough on defense and all this other shit about this defense, right? Ladies and gentlemen, have y'all forgot the college rules? Mm-hmm. You can camp out in that paint all the fucking day. Yep. And it is nothing wrong with that. So if I'm 7'4" with the wingspan that he's got, get your ass in the paint and don't move. Just go from block to block. That's all I need you to do. You don't need to be going out and closing out on a shooter from the 3-point line. I don't need that. I don't need you to go all the way past the free throw line. Get your ass in the zone and stay in the zone. That's why people did not have success with them, again, going to the rim, because Zach Edey was there. Now, of course, is he going to have to learn this in the NBA? Yes, Of course. He's going to have to move his feet in the NBA. Duh. But did y'all not just watch the Mavericks and what they were doing with their twinkle toes with Gafford and Lively? How they were just kind of in the lane and they tippy-toe out and tippy-toe back in? It's going to be the same kind of process for Zach Edey until he gets his real NBA speed with him. But again, stop knocking him because he wasn't moving that much in college. He doesn't have to move that much in college. And it didn't take away from him being a 2-time player of the year. So shut up about it. Great move, Grizzlies. And I'm with the train again with Took. Again, I believe that the Grizzlies now this season should be in the playoffs.
Yep.
No questions.
Yep. No question. The only question would be Coach Taylor Jenkins. That's the only question that you would have. But Zach Edey literally improved every single year. And not to mention, like 25 and 12, in the college, like 20 points in college is crazy. Like if you like watch
as a big man, like 20 points in college is like getting 40 in the NBA, bro. Like that's literally how it is. Like if you get 12 points a game in college, you're doing something pretty good. To get double of that is insane. On top of 12 rebounds, on top of 2 blocks a game. But the biggest stat for the Memphis Grizzlies, the man shot 1,000 free throws, made 70%. That's the league average in the NBA. I got a big man that you got to account for. And like I tweeted, heck that man if you want to. He going to make 2 free throws every time. And I talk about it with Angel Reese. It's like, make your easy buckets near the goal. It's all you got to do. Turn around, bucket. Just get a nice shooter's touch on the rim. Zach Edey is going to be able to do that on about 24, 25 minutes a game. He getting less minutes than he got in college. So he gonna be way more fresh in the game. Like he gonna have way more energy, and he already moves pretty well, bro. So I like this is probably my favorite pick of the draft, to be honest. Now, would I have wanted Donovan Clingan? Yeah, that would have been great. F you Trailblazers, F you Portland. I hate y'all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Y'all got the top 5 center in 8, and what the hell y'all doing drafting Clingan?
Yeah, that was confusing for me from Portland. I'm like, you have DeAndre Ayton, and you traded for him, and you like I don't understand that. I mean, we say on this pod, if you listen to 3 to Hardaway, we already told you he the I don't care bear. Like, why would you even want him on your team? Crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So Clingan, I mean, he's a good player, but in terms of like offensively, Edey is a much better player. And when you have Ja Morant cutting to the basket, you're going to be able to find Zach Edey because Ja Morant brings in gravity. Edey big as hell going to be right there either for a handoff or a lie. He's 7'4". He don't got to jump. Put your hands up, 7'11" wingspan. That's an easy 2 points, man. And I think if you are a betting person, put him down for Rookie of the Year. I think you can put him down for Rookie of the Year. The other guy's not gonna be as good as him. I don't think so. Like today, day one, I don't see the guy from Atlanta being that good. I don't think Sarr gonna be that good in Washington. And I think the Grizzlies are gonna win games due in part because of Zach Edey.
I got a dark horse for Rookie of the Year, and we talked
Who?
about him a little on the pod. Stephon Castle. I'm a
Okay,
big
go ahead.
fan. I don't watch too much college hoops, but from what I did see,
Yeah, dog.
he's a dog. He got SGA potential. Oh, and who did the Spurs just get for SGA to kind of help develop him when he was younger? Oh, Chris Paul. Hey, that's a teammate right now, huh? So when you think about that, and he's coming in with Wemby, I love that combination. And I think he could easily be a dark horse for Rookie of the Year for sure.
Okay. I like Stephon Castle. I mean, that's Klingen's teammate at UConn, back-to-back champions, coached well by Dan Hurley. And then you go from Dan Hurley to Pop. Like, this is a nice segue, bro. It's a nice segue. And I'm telling y'all, they setting the table for Becky Hammond in a couple of years. They setting the table for her. Once Pop get done, they setting the table for her. I'm book it, in my opinion. Book it. Another pick that I liked a lot. Where is it? Oh, oddly enough, the Lakers. I like Dalton Connect. And for the Connect for Sheedy's point. I like Dalton Connect because he's 6'7", he's a shooter, can get his own bucket. The Lakers needed that for the longest. Austin Reeves is cool, but he ain't really that guy getting his own bucket. And I feel like it could have traded him because you got a better version of Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect that's ready-made right now. Day one, he'll be a decent player, in my opinion. The problem is that you also drafted Bronny James, which so Brian James, right? Let me go put the graphic up because I gotta make sure I get it for my timestamps. But the Lakers drafted Brian James, right? And everyone was like, "Oh, this is great, father and son. We get, Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., all this and that, like, oh, black nepotism." I'll go ahead and define black nepotism right now. Or nepotism.
Just nepotism. There we go. Why I gotta be black?
So based on the definition from Merriam-Webster, nepotism is a noun defined as the practice amongst those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs. That is nepotism. So, in a sentence, LeBron James's influence on the Lakers front office and general managing decisions is an example of nepotism because he was able to get his son, Brian James Jr., a job. Nepotism. So,
got it.
As a father of a son, if I were in a position where I ran a company, and it's kind of funny because I watch my wife and kids with Michael Kyle and Junior. Junior gets hired by Michael Kyle at some point, but what the hell does Michael Kyle Sr. do? He make Junior work his ass off that first day on the job, right? He doesn't hand him like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a job." He like, "Nah, you gotta get to work yourself. Like, drive yourself to work. Get on the train to go to work. I'm not driving you to work. I'm not just gonna hand it off to you and let you do it." Like, bar none, LeBron James was going to get his son a job somewhere in one of the 30 cities in the NBA. That was going to happen, like, regardless of how well or not so well that he played in college. My problem is, and it's not just with LeBron, it's also with the Lakers and how they run themselves in general. They do everything around either what LeBron James wants or what they think he wants. Now, he for sure wants to play with Brian James. I understand that as far as like legacy and your impact on the game, blah, 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 blah. The Lakers' job as an organization is not to appease LeBron James. The Lakers' job as an organization is to win NBA championships. Now, that being said, do they have a better chance of winning a championship with LeBron James? Of course, absolutely. I get that. Are they going to win an NBA championship right now, LeBron James? Hell no. They're not going to do that. Like, in what way? Like, the Lakers are not going to beat the Nuggets. They're not going to beat the Thunder. They're not going to beat the Timberwolves. They're not going to beat these other teams out in the West. The Golden State Warriors here. Who knows? That's not going to happen. So why would you sign or draft Bronny James? What is the point? What do you expect out of Brian James? Like, he's going to be a decent role player. He's not moving the needle. And my problem with the Lakers is that they continue. You wasted a second-round pick. When I look at Denver Nuggets roster and I see Nikola Jokic, there is literally no wasting a pick. They drafted Nikola Jokic during a Taco Bell commercial, but the scouting department did their damn job in making sure they drafted the best player possible regardless of what position that was in the draft. Bronny James is not going to be a superstar player. He's not going to be an all-star player. He's going to be a halfway decent role player. So the Lakers, there were better options aside from Bronny James. It's a cool story. It's a nice story. As a father of a son, I understand it. But in terms of how the organization runs, I do not understand that for the Lakers. And if I'm a Lakers fan, not myself because I'm not a Lakers fan anymore, but if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm frustrated with LeBron. I'm tired of this. It's been several years of just the same BS of LeBron essentially running the show, and we get bad results every time. That's exactly what it is. So shout out to Brian James. I like him. I said it when I saw him at Collierville at that little hoops event that he was an NBA player. I still believe that to this day. He's an NBA player, but not enough to just, push all my chips in for him and to have a freaking betting prop that said he's going to score 25 points in the game. If Bronny James scores 25 points in an NBA game this season, I'm giving somebody some money. I don't know how much I'm giving. I'm giving somebody some money. I will give somebody $25 if LeBron James scores 25 points in an NBA game this season. Y'all can clip that. I will give somebody $25 this season if he scores 25 points.
I'll take it.
Yeah, me too. We can split it.
The hell? Let me, if I can just speak on exactly what you said and the question about Bronny James draft pick. And unfortunately, as I'm listening to you talk, I'm also sitting here thinking about LeBron and his best years in a span of time. And ironically enough, of course, to me, it always comes down to Miami. He's never had a greater 4 years, whether it was 4 years together in Cleveland, 4 years straight in LA. He's never had 4 great years. Now, granted, I get it. We had Chris Bosh, we had D-Wade, but we had some bums on the rest of them. True. But LeBron was not in control of the organization. Mm-hmm. Pat Riley and company were in control of the organization. And so when I say that, I'm not flipping the script to Los Angeles. Los Angeles' hands are tied. The Lakers' hands are tied because at this point right now, still, LeBron James is an unrestricted free agent. So they had to draft Bronny, or else you let the potential of Bronny going somewhere and LeBron James going somewhere. And ladies and gentlemen, no one still wants to sign with LA, by the way. No one is lining up to go, hey, I want to go play with AD per se or with the Lakers. So to me, LeBron has kind of handicapped, to your point, Savage, he has handicapped the Lakers from their decision-making and then adding their coach of JJ Redick, which is more than likely a coach of his choosing, right? For what? And again, like I said earlier in this podcast, the Lakers, to me, as of today, as of July 1st, even signing LeBron James with the roster they have intact, may not even make, I'm going to say they make the playoffs, play-in team. Again, another play-in team, right? Again, another year in the play-in, possibly, but they're not going to get anywhere. And it doesn't matter if they see the Nuggets or whoever it may be. I don't see them legitimately going further with this roster as constructed and as drafted. And I have some other draft picks I want to talk about too, but we're just going to stick to Bronny right now and the Lakers.
Savage, when I hear everything you just said about Bronny, it kind of seemed like I don't feel like the Lakers put their, like you said, the chips in the basket, like do everything in just to get Bronny. You know what I'm saying? He was a 55 pick. To your word, he's an NBA player. So if he's an NBA player, we should be expecting a second contract. Would y'all agree, right? Would y'all agree that? Because that's what I'm saying. If Bronny James as a 55th, let's just think about this for a second. No matter if it's Bronny James, it can be James Bronny. If he's a 55th pick, we don't expect him to get a second contract at all. Just being right. We don't expect many second round picks. I get everything that you just said about the Nuggets, but some organizations are like that and they ain't. This brings me back to my next point of last podcast that I said, and I asked y'all, are the Lakers and LeBron stuck, or are the Lakers stuck with LeBron? Y'all say yes. It was a yes, in the community as well. Which, okay, if that's going to be the point, how can we better maximize and try to win a championship? Because I'm not going to say the Lakers ain't trying to win a championship. It's just that their front management is kind of iffy. You know what I'm saying? With LeBron included. To bring in Bronny, I think when you talk about Bronny and bringing in his son, for one, I love it. I love the fact that he's able to play with his son, because for the next 2-3 years, you're going to be able to learn from the best on how to best be a pro. You're going to be learning, from your dad in LA. So not to say, his dad has set him up for success in LA on and off the basketball court. Like Bronny, USC. How many, he's connected to LA. So you already know the endorsements deals going to come on. Y'all as fathers of sons, y'all will want that for your kids. Once I'm out of this league in 3 or 4 years, I need to make sure, A, that my son is able to make as much money as possible, and B, that he get that second contract. I'm saying? I can understand if the Lakers used a first-round pick for him. I get it. That's crazy. But to use a 55th pick to bring your son in, I think that's pretty special. I'm not expecting him to score 25 points this game either, but next year maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. So he had a tough deal at USC. He really wasn't point guard, if you want to be real. He really wasn't the point guard on the team. It was Isaiah Collier. Shout out to him, who got selected by the Jazz, which I don't understand. I think they lost the draft picking him. Not saying that it's on Isaiah Collier, but y'all got a bunch of other guards. Y'all got 18 guards. What the hell y'all got them for? But we'll talk about them in another podcast. But bringing it back to Bronny, he wasn't really able to play much in USC because he had the heart surgery as well. I'm saying all that to say that I think it's too early to be like, hey, Bronny ain't gonna be in the league, 2-3 years from now. Because like you said, Savage, you already said he's an NBA player. So if he is an NBA player, selecting him at 55, that's a good selection to me. And especially if I'm able to play with my pops for the next 3 to 4 years. I think that's special. I think we're going to see Bronny James grow into an actual NBA player. And I think eventually down the line, he could, with his IQ, if he can turn into a Jrue Holiday type of player. Jrue Holiday's best years, just in my opinion, have been the latest. He's won 2 championships in the last 5 years. I would love to see that turn into Bronny James.
No, it's wild. We never put this much emphasis on Michael Jordan's son. And Michael Jordan's son had better averages coming out of college than Bronny James.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
And it was probably the same build. If I remember correctly, he like 6'3". About
not much.
Was it
now Bryson?
No, Bryce gonna be the one.
Bryson's the one, yeah.
Bryson,
we all agree there. Bryson's probably the one.
Yeah.
Bryce the one. Sorry, Bronny.
But I mean, is the conspiracy go get Bryce in 2 years? I think. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about the Lakers. Like when they hire JJ Redick, they give him a 4-year deal. Is that deal tied to LeBron? Which every coach that's been there has been tied to LeBron, or what?
So you just answered your own question.
No,
we literally saw his interview. We watched his interview.
and I get it, but it's like, as an organization at this point in LeBron's career, it used to be LeBron makes his teammates better. And I don't think LeBron is making AD better per se. Like AD he was an elite talent by himself. But like, aside from AD, what other player is just like, oh man, this is a great player that I want on my team? Like Alex Caruso, not Caruso, but what's the guy's name? Austin Reeves. Like
the Hawks wanted him, and they ain't want to get to him.
Man,
so they see something in him.
Austin Reeves, man, I pray somebody trade for Austin Reeves. We're gonna see the real Austin Reeves at that point. I pray.
Yeah. Just like we seen the real THT in Utah.
THC ain't hooping no more. Now I'll give them Caruso, but Caruso, I think he just had dog in him. But I'll give Caruso in that regard. But aside from that, what other player has been like, as a Lakers organization, they are proud to say this is our guy? I can't think of one on top of my head. Maybe a Lakers fan could tell me, but I just And then I think the thing that a lot of people are missing, like, will Bronny ever get to be just himself as a player? Because like, you going into a situation where you're basically like Braden from Power, like you just the guy that got hired by my dad, and like I'm just here in the office based on quote unquote nepotism. Like, will he get the respect of other players? And he might have to earn it this way, and it'll be rough going for him. And if he survives that, then to Tuke's point, like, he is an NBA player. He survived being looked down upon as like, and this guy, he playing here because his dad's here. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to seeing him play in an actual NBA game and going up against like real deal, like defensive, like a Pat Beverly kind of player. Because Pat Bev got on, what was that, Lonzo, first game of the season? He was giving Lonzo hell. And Lonzo is an elite talent coming out of college. Like, he actually did something in college. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Bronny, he had the heart situation, of course. But, like, we didn't really get to see him, honestly, be on the ball as a player. Like, can Bronny dribble? Like, can he actually break down an elite defensive player in the NBA? We're going to see. We're going to see it. And does he have the sustaining power? But also, like, as far as, like, just, like, son to father thing, did he even want that, to be drafted by the Lakers to his dad's team? Did he possibly want to, like, make his own path for himself and play somewhere else? And so, you know what? I don't need my dad's name. He wants to be called Bronny because he didn't want to be LeBron James Jr. And I also find it kind of weird, as Toot leads us, I also find it kind of weird that I also find it kind of weird that he put James Jr. on his jersey. Like, he didn't have James. I don't know if he had James Jr. on the USC jersey, but, like, even that to me is kind of like, yeah, I'm my dad's son, which you are. I understand that. My dad's a junior. But at the same time, my dad got frustrated when he was constantly being associated with Howard Sr. because you getting Howard Sr.'s mail all the time. Like, no, I'm Howard Jr., not Howard Sr. I don't want your mail. I don't want your junk. I don't want your stuff. And so I'm wondering, does Bronny even want that for himself and want that for his life? You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see. I'm curious about it, long term. But I just think as a Lakers organization, that was not in their best interest or the best use of resources for them in terms of the draft. There were probably better players that could have been selected at that spot that they could have picked. But I mean, hey, it was like the second to last pick in the draft, so maybe it was better for them to do this than to draft some random person from, like, Europe or something. So
yeah, they could have put that, to your point, that pick into like a draft, a trade destination for someone else, right?
Right.
For a second round pick. So yeah, I'm with you about that. Both sides have it in, to the point that you're making. Is this Bronny's dream or is it LeBron's dream?
Yeah.
And
that's the question.
We'll see, right? And just how it came about. So yeah.
Listen.
Before we end, I do want to talk about two players I think are want to make some impacts with their teams. First of all, Coach Pop, there's clearly a reason why he didn't want Rob there. But I really love him with Minnesota.
Love it.
Because you just got another person that can score for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he has the ability to grow. Talk about CP3. He has the ability to grow now with Tony Allen, my fault. Michael Conley Jr. Up there in Minnesota. So I think that's a great move by them. Another team that I think made a great move was the Champions. Because I watched
they got from Creighton, lefty,
and pretty big dude. He got a pretty solid frame. And I think that was a great choice by them. I'm like, dang, he fell that low. Like, nobody wanted him. I watched like at least 3 or 4 Creighton games, and he was the best player on the court at all times. Every time I turned into that. So to see him drop that low, almost into the second round, was crazy to me. But Brad Stevens knows what he's doing. And so kudos to Brad about that.
How you feel about Khalil Ware, Sheedy? I don't know if you've seen the highlights of
how I feel about him at Indiana University level. And this now, so you have to, first of all, it was a question about Kevin Love, right? Kevin Love's on the bench, whatever. What K Ware can do is now move Bam to the 4 and give him more options as the 4, as a defender, right? And to the point, and I'm going to compare him to Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s best years to me defensively are when he's at the 4.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's the same for Bam, even though Bam has been 5-time. They're very similar in terms of defensive career trajectories. But this gives Bam more autonomy to do what he can do, and maybe even doing more in the offense.
I like relieve him on offense. Yep.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And let Terry Rozier be more of a ball handler for us, who was hurt for the playoffs. So I absolutely love it. Again, the 3 players we just named all came into the draft. 4 players, I guess you want to add Brian James. These guys are getting paid pennies on a dollar to really fill voids for their teams. And I really, again, that Minnesota Coach Pop, I don't know, you didn't want Rob, that's cool. But for Minnesota to get another scorer with Ant, crazy. And for us in Miami to get Ware, loved it. Absolutely loved it for us. Because we didn't have to go find somebody.
Mm-hmm. I hate that they only traded, I think it's what, a 2030 pick. That's Spurs I'm talking about. 2031. That's all they traded for Dillingham. And I'm a big Dillingham fan too. I like him.
Yeah.
But I think we, like you said, Savage Castle wanted a situation where he was going to be the point guard. It was going to be his team. So, I mean, you have to make that known too. And I don't expect Dillingham to start. However, I do expect him to come off the bench, given whoever bucket. So,
oh yes,
salute to the little guy, young Dillingham.
I see Jamal Murray. That's Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray. Damn near. Jamal Murray. Damn near.
Right.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, but Jamal Crawford's what I mean.
Lou Williams.
Lou Will, like definitely, he can give you 20. We definitely see him give him 20.
And that's what the Wolves are missing. Somebody off the bench that can
score. Yeah, besides Nas, besides Ether Reed,
Mm-hmm.
they need somebody else.
Yep. Ether Reed.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, two things with the news in the NBA. I forgot the Cavs signed Kenny Atkinson to be their next coach, which I think is a good pickup for the Cavs. And then of course the Boston Celtics, they sold their well, the majority owner sold his stake in the company. He bought it for $360 million in 2002. Sold for, as Tuk told us in the pre-show, $5 billion. So talk about return on investment.
As of 6 hours ago, still Fortune has them. Sportico values the Celtics at $5 billion. Talk about a come up.
Man.
Yeah, that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's a 14-time investment.
Woo.
Back to you. That's like if you give $1 and you're getting $14 back. Giving $100, $1,400. Just in case y'all don't do math, I got you.
Mathematician, man. And it's crazy. You bought the team for essentially Jason Tatum's contract for one player. You bought it for Jason. I mean, talk about going out on top, bro. You got championship in 08. Got championship last year. You've been to so many conference finals, went to finals against the Warriors and lost that one. But I mean, Boston, for as much as we talk bad about the city and the fans, the majority owner, he said, you know what, I'm done now. I've made my money. I'm finna chill. $5 billion. That's generational wealth for them. So shout out to the owner. Out of curiosity, I would love to see them get a black owner.
Me too.
I just want to see what happens. What happens.
Mm-hmm. And then, like Savage, just speaking of the Celtics, this is why you say that the salary cap is capped.
Salary cap is capped. That's what it is, man. Put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt, Sharky. Put it on a shirt.
The salary cap is capped.
Salary cap is capped. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. If a team wants you, they will pay you. That's my philosophy. So, all right, man. So I don't know if anything else has happened. I haven't looked at Twitter the entire time, but maybe we'll be back next week. Maybe.
Keep a lookout.
If Sheedy want to hop on again,
it's not my fault, by the way, ladies and
this
gentlemen.
is not me, ladies and gentlemen. I was cool. Cool.
You know this ain't on me.
She stirred the pot. Stirred the pot and got the conversation flowing. But of course, we are happy to oblige and give the people what they want. And so, if we are back next week, we will make it known. But don't bank on it per se.
Hey,
don't bank on it. So, all right, y'all, stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.